Think back at when you started your business. You can probably remember a lot of Excel spreadsheets, maybe some paper documents and binders with all sorts of information. Everybody starts with Excel. It's flexible, it does every single thing for you. You can prepare and keep documents in it, you can manage your projects with it ticks all your boxes and you love it. And I'm sure you want the best for your business, and people see it. They are buying your products and using your services more and more often, but it doesn't agree with your Excels quite. Initially, you only have a couple of Excels. They're all nice and snug on your computer or on your USB stick, but as you need to share them with others, things start to break. Excels are great when there's maximum 2 people editing a single file. And you probably know that every time you add a new person to your team, you'll need to explain them how to use your precious Excels correctly. I'm sure you can remember how trusting new team members and just leaving them to figure it out by themselves turned out the last time. As more and more people join your team, it just gets worse, and you start thinking about something safer. Excels are so easy to break, to lose, to duplicate, to send to wrong people, you name it. They are really hard to maintain when there's more than 2 people using them. You eventually figure out that you need something more rigid, something less flexible, something harder to break. And you might think if you need a CRM or a project management solution or an ERP, but you don't want to jump into big pinned-down, non-flexible, industry-standard solutions too quickly. You are also kind of a DIY person yourself, and you want to keep things under your control as much as possible. And you don't want to spend big money on a piece of software which you don't know if it will fit all your needs at all. Well, you can decide that you will change most of your business to fit into one of the industry standard solutions. This often turns out as a non-optimal solution because your team will need to relearn the basics of how they work. While it's possible, it's often quite a challenge and companies don't tend to do it. Traditional business solutions are not very happy with changes either. They're meant to be set up once, tested and adapted, and then left as they are. Because that's their job. They need to be static, because they're holding up your company. They demand that you do your homework. You need to figure out what you are doing and how. Only then you can jump into a big system. And you wouldn't go implementing a big traditional business solutions by yourself. No, because that takes time, even when professionals do it. So it's guaranteed to cost you big money. Now, it makes a whole lot of sense to use a big traditional business software, once you're big, of course, but while you're starting off, it might not be the best decision. When your team is small and you're still figuring things out, you want to change things, you want to experiment, and you want to change things often. With traditional business solutions, it's so easy to make them messy and overly complicated with new features which you'll eventually just stop using. You need a system where you can clean up your own mess by yourself, because making others do it for you is expensive. That's where things like Notion and Monday.com come in play. While they're a lot harder to break than Excel, they still offer you plenty of flexibility so you can progress on your own terms. You can pull it off with these types of solutions for quite a long time. If you're running your business successfully, you'll see that over time, you aren't changing your Notion or your Monday.com all that often. You'll feel that you caught the rhythm and you'll see patterns of how things work at your company. Maybe not with every part of the business, but certainly where there's lots of people to manage. Eventually, as your business grows and there's more and more people, you can't scream at everybody at once for entering the data wrong. It's just impossible to allow everybody to do their own thing. You want consistency and you want quality, because that's what your customers demand from you. That's what you're selling. You need to pin things down, figure out what's your essence, what's making your business run. And that's called business processes. And you need to streamline them. You need to remove as much friction as possible. You need to make your business run like clockwork, because that's the only way to scale. The more streamlined the processes, the less stress will be on you and your employees. And this is where more traditional systems come into play. Although you're a nice person yourself, you need to force people to enter the data exactly as you need it, because there are dependencies. Forcing people to enter the data exactly as you need it is something that traditional business systems are really good at. Pinning things down and let the processes and systems take care of the people instead of you does seem like a great solution. But it's not all that fun for you. You're gonna miss Excel. You're gonna miss Excel so much that you want to export the data out of your system just to crunch it in Excel. Luckily, all modern business solutions can do that nowadays. And if you need to experiment and tinker with your operations, make them even more streamlined, and you can always partly go back to Excel or Notion. Keep the main money machine happy and just experiment with the new stuff you want to add to your company. Also, covering the needs of the whole business with one single big system can be an expensive dream if approached wrong. So it's often best if you do it gradually. Have the majority of the company nicely streamlined and tied upon a traditional, pinned down, rigid and non-flexible system, and leave some room for experimentation with parts of the company where you don't have everything figured out. And that's how you grow, one step at a time, over and over again. Anyway, that's it for today. I'll be exploring Notion in the next couple of videos to show what I meant earlier, so stay tuned for that. Thank you very much for your time and see you in the next one. Bye.